joining us. I'm Maria Sorreo, and you have been personally invited to spend some time with us right here at Terranea. On today's show, you're going to meet one of the members of the back-to-back NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers. And then coming up a little bit later, I'm going to take you to a state-of-the-art fitness studio right here in Paradise. Up first, we go to Marcel Restaurant, where I sat down with Matt Barnes, who talks about his hoop dreams. You grew up in Northern California, in Sacramento area, went to Fair Oaks, went to Del Campo High, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Northern California high school sports, as I know as well from living there for a while, is so intense.
Yeah.
And you lettered in basketball and football may have been an option for you. When did you sort of decide to go the basketball route?
Football was actually my first sport.
Okay.
I grew up playing football. Picked up basketball going into high school, but football was just something I always loved. My dad played semi-pro. I grew up a huge Niner fan.
Okay,
and,
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, just always loved football. Led the nation in touchdowns my senior year,
Yeah,
and had
28 touchdowns,
had several offers from colleges. But my dream was to always go to UCLA and play basketball, and they were sketchy on me doing both.
Okay.
So we tried to push for both. They weren't really having it, so I settled for basketball.
Okay, well, so you settled for basketball, but you did fairly well doing that as well. So that was my next question. You grew up a Niner fan living in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were you a Sacramento Kings fan living up there? Or?
To be a hometown guy, you always want to see the hometown team do well. But growing up weird, my dad was a huge Laker fan. Watching Showtime and Magic and James and Byron Scott, Kareem, that was who we grew up rooting for.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Go back to the competition for a second. In high school up there, it's interesting. You go to different places in the state. I know San Diego's very competitive. What is it about Northern California that makes you guys so competitive at the high school level?
There's probably just not much to do out there.
That could be.
It's high school sports is big out there and really competitive. We had really good basketball and football teams when I was in high school, and there's a lot of great local talent around as well. So it just made it a blast to play.
You played at UCLA. You were drafted in the second round, though, to the NBA. What was that moment like for you when you found out I'm there? It's happening.
It was a great feeling, to accomplish my goal was to reach the NBA, but I knew I had some work ahead of me.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I was drafted in the second round, traded to Cleveland, and was cut pretty much immediately. Never really had a chance to play. So, I kind of took the tough road to get back to the NBA. It took me about a year to get into the NBA after I was drafted, and I've been going hard ever since.
It's interesting to me because you have been, I'm just going to read this to you, you've been through Memphis, Cleveland, you were at the Clippers, Sacramento Kings, New York Knicks, 76ers, Golden State, Phoenix Suns, Orlando Magic, and you get to the Lakers. What is that like for you as a player where you have to sort of look at this as, it's not just an emotional thing, which of course it is, but this has to be a business for you. How did you navigate through all those teams to get back to where you are right now? What was that like?
That's what I think myself more than anybody in the league may know it's a business. I was drafted by Memphis and traded to Cleveland, so those two spots I never really touched down and played. Started with the Clippers, had a good season there, and went back home in the summertime and was working out with Chris Webber at the arena, and Sacramento wanted to offer me a contract. So I was in the midst of going back to the Clippers and signing a multi-year deal. And, just the allure of playing back at home was, too good to turn down. So I ended up going to Sacramento, played there, played well, and then got traded with Chris Webber to Philly, which was a disaster. I was there for 2 years and never played, never got an opportunity to play. So then the following year I went to Golden State, and in between Philly and Golden State, my brother plays in the CFL, and he was a college football player.
Right.
And every summer I worked out playing football, did football routes still, and still had a lot of contact with football. And, I just told myself, I love basketball, but if it doesn't work out this season, I'm going to play football. We had some NFL teams that were willing to give me a tryout. So I went into that summer just, I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can at basketball and see where it takes me. Ended up in Golden State and had a great year there. That's the year we beat the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes.
And, things have been, that was kind of like my coming out party. I've been playing well since I've been having an opportunity, been playing well since. So, it's just a business. Would I like to stay in one place? Yeah. Would I like to sign a huge deal? Yeah. But, you know, I'm blessed to play the sport I love, and you know, just try to go out there and play as hard as I can every night.
That was only going to be one of my questions. Was there ever one place you really wanted to stay and kind of hoped it worked out? And of course, not the Lakers because you're here now,
Yeah.
but just
But
along the road.
leading up to this was Golden State.
Okay.
I think we had a great team at Golden State. Very up and coming young team, a lot of talent. For some reason, they blew that team up like they always do. You know, they always have a lot of good talent come through there, and they never keep them.
Kind of like the Clippers.
Yeah, exactly like the Clippers. So, you know, it was tough because we all became great friends. Myself, Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, Monte Ellis, Al Harrington. You know, we had a very talented team, Jason Richardson, and you know, we got one good year together when we made NBA history, and then the following year they just blew the team up. So.
Is it difficult because one team on one hand is saying we don't want you anymore, but then another team is saying we do want you? How does that feel as a player?
It's hard. Like I said, it's a business, and I realize that.
Yeah.
The team has to do what's best for them. You know, they have to do what's best for their organization and their best opportunity they feel to win. So you can never really blame a team. Yeah, there's always bitter feelings, and when you play that team, you know, you always want to do well against them.
Sure.
And I've had a knack for doing that against former teams.
You really have.
You know, it's just kind of, you got to go with the punches. Like I said, I'm honored and blessed to be in the position I am. So, you know, I just go out there and play hard.
Okay, so almost a year ago, you were with the Magic, and there was a game that you played against the Lakers and against Kobe Bryant in particular, and it was, we hit it on YouTube, over 200,000 hits. You played that game, probably one of your best games, best performances, and really tough against Kobe. Talk about that game.
I think what it was, you know, now that Kobe and I talk about it now, it was really just two people competing.
Okay.
I think the fact that it was Kobe, you know, I think it kind of got blown out of proportion because from what I've seen, you know, not too many people, you know, stand up to him.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And for him to already be the best player, if you let him get the physical edge and the psychological edge, you don't have a chance. So, you know, I knew I had my hands full that day. And, you know, just right from the tip, you know, when he started throwing elbows, and I was just letting him know I wasn't having it. And we really went back and forth that game.
You know, it was interesting, though, because that was the game that I guess kind of propelled you into his head a little bit. And when your name came up to go to the Lakers, Kobe was like, absolutely, get Matt Barnes in here. And I know that he had tweeted you or texted you
yeah.
something like, if you're crazy enough to stand up to me like that, then you're crazy enough to play with me.
Yeah. When my deal with Orlando fell through, you know, there's a few other teams offering me, now I look at a lot more money.
Toronto being one of them, right?
But, you know, I wanted to win. And one of the first people I texted was Kobe. I'm just like, you know, I want to be on your team. I want to run with you. And he texted me back immediately. And he just said, great, you know, let me talk to Mitch and, you know, let's see what happens. And, you know, within a week I signed there. But, you know, like I said, we talk about it now. And I've known Kobe since I was in college. He used to come to UCLA and work out and play. So, you know, I've always had a huge amount of respect for him. And, you know, now that I'm here playing with him, it's great.
Okay, so you come into the Laker locker room. What was the moment like when you found out that you were absolutely a Laker? What was that like for you?
It was a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, I had a smile that lasted for about 4 or 5 days. You know, it was Christmas. Christmas hit in the summertime.
For sure.
You know, my family knew it was a dream come true for me, and you know, I want to win a ring. So, you know, now being here and being able to put that jersey on means a lot to me, and you know, I try to represent to the fullest.
I'm sure you have preconceived ideas about being with the back-to-back world champions. Good and bad, what has it been like for you to be in that locker room? You and I were just kind of chatting about that before. It's the intensity of being a Laker, and especially with the back-to-backs, you are expected to win every
night,
single night, no matter what.
Yeah, we're supposed to go 82-0.
You are, right? You knew that.
There's hands down. There should be no losses.
Yeah,
there should be no
exactly.
injuries. There should be no excuses.
Right.
I think that's one of the biggest things being here. As far as the team, you know, we know what kind of talent we have. We know what we have in our locker room, and we definitely believe in ourselves. But you know, to the outside world, you know, a loss is the end of the world, and we need to trade the whole team. You know, we need new guys. But on a brighter note, just the reception from the fans. You know, the fans have been great. You know, everywhere you go, this is really a Laker town. Going to opposing arenas, you know, seeing Laker jerseys fly and Laker flags just kind of blew me away. You know, just the majority of the time, if we don't have more, we have just as many fans as, you know, the opposing team has. So it's been fun from that aspect.
What's it like for you when we come in the locker room and we're trying to get answers, you know, because it's always a story, but is that difficult? I mean, is it?
You know, we know that's your guys' job.
Yeah.
You know, so we have to do our best to put the emotion of the game behind us at that particular time. You know, we may not feel like talking, or we may be mad because of a loss, but we know you guys are just doing your job. So
Yeah.
we have to help you guys out as much as you guys help us. So we realize that that comes with the territory, and we try to do our best at it.
That's good. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, when Pau Gasol came in, it was almost like a seamless fit, and he just, you know, they talk about team chemistry all the time. You came in, it was almost that way too. Was it like that for you when you first got there?
It felt that way. I knew coming in I had about a month and a half before training camp, so the first thing I did was I got a bunch of tapes on the triangle.
Okay.
You know, started watching the offense. Came into LA early and started working on the offense, just so I didn't want to be a reason to, you know, the team being slow out the gates or any excuses to be on my part. You know what I mean? I want to come in and hit the ground running, you know my position and know my role on the team so that I can fit right in. And, you know, the team did a great job helping me do that. The players, Kobe, Fish, you know, all the veteran leadership they have. Any questions I had, everyone wanted to answer them for me, and it made the transition very smooth.
I was going to ask you, were there any adjustments that you felt you had to kind of make from your game to the game you're playing now?
You know, not necessarily. You know, I know what my role is. I know that I'm a role player. I know that I'm supposed to play hard defense and rebound the ball and knock down open shots. You know, just the transition area was really just trying to learn the triangle.
Okay.
I feel that I have a fairly good handle on it. You know, I'm always learning every day on it. I'm still watching film to this day on it. But, you know, for the most part, it was smooth.
Something that people comment about you, and you've said yourself, is that you're hungry. You're hungry for that ring. You've played in the NBA a long time, and, you know, you really want it. I talked to Brian Shaw about sometimes, because, you know, the Lakers are back-to-back champions, they're used to being on the biggest stage of the world, and sometimes complacency sets in. I think that you're sort of that one key that you're not complacent, you want to win badly. Do you ever feel that from some of the guys in the locker room, or?
I would say not complacently, maybe than just it's a long season.
It is a long season.
It's a very long season, and you know, like you stated earlier, the Lakers are on the biggest stage.
Always.
You know, when the lights are on, the Lakers are on that stage. So, I just think getting through those, you know, the Decembers, the Januaries, the Februarys, you know, kind of like the dog days of the season.
Yes.
It's tough on the team. You know, we're an older team, you know,
Right.
which everyone knows. You know, that the team has won 2 championships in a row. So I just think that, you know, once the sun comes back out and, you know, March comes around and, you know, the weather starts heating up, I think you'll see, you know, the best that the Lakers have to offer.
You know, you've been through playoffs before, you understand what it's like, but these back-to-back champions, do you ever feel that every single night, whoever is facing you, they have just brought their A game and, like, you know, barrels going?
Yes. You know, as a player myself, I always knew when the Lakers came to town, it was time to, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
let's get ready, you know, and I played well against them. And, you know, that's the thing with this team, that every night we're going to get people's best shots, every night, no matter who the team is. And we know that. And, you know, that's why most of the time we feel that, you know, when we lose, I mean, it's not really what the other team did, it's what we didn't do. Because we knew coming into the game they were going to play their absolute best game. You know, with the talent we have and the staff we have, we know every night we can win and we should win. And it doesn't happen that way. But, you know, that's where the learning comes in, and, you know, get back to the drawing board and, you know, fix our mistakes.
I guess people always say that the thing about the Lakers play different in the playoffs. So from somebody that was on another team looking at the Lakers, what does that mean to you? What does that mean?
It tightens up. You know, the lights come on. We have arguably the best players in the world on our team. You know, Powell's an amazing player. Lamar should be an all-star. You know, we got a great bunch of role players, and we have the best coach in the game. So, you know, when the playoffs roll around, it's just different. You know, your body feels different. You know, you don't feel tired anymore. You don't feel hurt anymore. You just know that it's time to go. And, you know, I know this year with this team, it'll be the same way. You know, I knew in Orlando when we went to the Eastern Conference Finals, you know, all the nagging injuries you have in the regular season don't matter once the playoffs start, because, you know, it's win or go home. And when our back's against the wall, I know that's when we'll be at our best.
Yeah, this team doesn't like to go home.
No.
They just like to win.
There you go.
All right, random question. We talked about this briefly as well. The NBA and tattoos. I've seen guys, athletes from every sport. What is it about the tattoos?
I would have to say the 80s generation, maybe even starting 78-ish.
Okay.
You know, that's just our thing, tattoos. You know, every generation is known for something.
Okay.
And I just think the 80s generation is tattoos. It's becoming more acceptable. You know, it was inappropriate, you know, would say 15, 20 years ago to have tattoos and, you know, looked down upon. But you see more and more people, not only athletes, but people in the business world, you know, actors, actresses, you know, CEOs. You know, it's definitely becoming more accepted, and just because you have tattoos, you're not a bad person.
Of course not.
Yeah.
You know, it's artistic. Now, when you started with, did you start with one tattoo and then same person do them all? How's that work?
I think the reason why I got hooked, I mean, it was something that I always wanted to do, but one of my really good friends from high school became a tattoo artist while we were in high school. So I didn't let him experiment on me in high school. I wanted him to get a little bit better.
Oh,
so
I see.
You know, once I got into college, I came back from my first summer of college. He's just like, you know, I'm ready to tattoo you. I was like, all right, well, you know, I'm on TV, so if you mess up, the whole world's gonna know you messed up on me. You know?
You're gonna talk about that, right?
I used to give him a hard time, and you know, I started when I was 17, and you know, I turned 30. I'm 30 now, and I've been going strong ever since.
Okay, now how many do you have?
I have no clue. I mean, I have my arms covered, my chest covered, you know, something on my back, something on my leg. I don't have no idea how many tattoos I have.
So do you want to get more, or?
Yeah, you know, now I'm to the point where, you know, it really has to, I mean, all my tattoos are important. You know, I'd say 90% or 80% of them have significant meaning to them.
Right.
You know, some of them are just, you know, art. But yeah, I definitely want to get more. You just, you know, it has to come to you what you want. You just don't want to go grab anything, so.
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, you are a family guy. You have kids, you know, you're definitely a family guy. How difficult is that to be an NBA player, especially, you know, you work on Christmas Day. How do you sort of balance the two?
I think it's very important. You know, you got to put family first regardless, but you know, I have a very demanding job.
You do.
So I just try to do my best to fit time in whenever I have downtime and I'm with my kids and my fiance. You know, real friends understand that.
Sure.
You know, you don't get a chance to hang out with your buddies as much as you'd like, or
Right.
family as much as you'd like, because you know, after your job, your family is your first priority.
Okay, let's have a little fun. Your favorite TV show, when you get a chance to watch?
Entourage.
Entourage, that's good. I like that show too. Favorite movie?
Oh, I'm a funny movie guy, so I have probably Old School,
Okay.
The Hangover, Friday. I like movies that make me. I like to laugh. So.
Okay, yeah. What about favorite thing to eat?
Favorite thing to eat is unhealthy food. For some reason, I try to. Gloria knows we can't have sweets in the house because I'll get them.
Because you'll eat them
But
all?
yeah, but just, you know, I try to eat healthy during the season, and I know in the summertime I get a chance to, you know, splurge a little bit, but I have a hard time eating healthy.
Funniest guy on the Lakers, who and why?
Funniest guy, Lamar.
Okay.
And just because he'll say anything.
He
you know
really
what I mean?
will.
Coming into him, I mean, from the outside he looks like a quiet guy, but he has jokes and he'll say something that comes way beyond left field. Just like, wow, where'd that come from? So I'd have to say Lamar.
Okay. Your favorite player in any sport growing up?
Favorite player was Magic Johnson.
Okay. And what was it like the first time you met Magic?
Man, couldn't believe it. He used to come up to UCLA and play, and I remember the first time I was on his team, I just kind of stood on the court the whole time and watched. You know what I mean? I was just an amazing.
Did he come over and shake your hand?
Oh yeah, you know, Magic was great, and you know, then starting to play against him more, I realized that when you play pickup with Magic, the other team never wins.
Yeah.
On game point, it's a foul on your team no matter what. So,
Do you ever still, when you see him, just look at him like, I can't believe we're standing in the same room?
I mean, that's all those guys, you know what I mean? To put this jersey on and know that Magic's worn them, and Kareem and James Worthy, Byron Scott, you know, Jerry West, the people that came before you, it's great tradition.
Okay, word association. I'll say Phil Jackson, and you think?
The most interesting man in the world. I made a joke when I first got here that, you know, those beer commercials with the most interesting man,
Yes.
he can definitely have his own commercial for that.
So that should be Phil Jackson.
Absolutely.
Kobe.
Amazing. You know, his attention to detail, second to none.
LeBron.
The next one in line.
You think so, after
Yeah.
Kobe?
Mm-hmm.
Dwight Howard.
Dwight is a great guy. You know, the sky's the limit for him. He has a chance to be the best center ever.
Okay. Shaq.
Yeah, man, he's a character.
He is.
Funny guy, and you know, if anyone can top what he did on the basketball court, it may be Dwight.
Boston Celtic rivalry. What is that like for you?
Good. You know, for some reason everybody hates Boston. You know, and I guess I fit in right in the, you know,
Especially
right
if
with
you're a
them. Yeah,
Laker.
exactly. So, you know, we had a heated rivalry last year with them in Orlando. So, you know, the 2 games watching when I was hurt killed me. But, you know, hopefully we get a chance to see him in June.
Is it more intense being with the Lakers?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
We hope you'll join us next time right here from Paradise at Terranea.